Good morning, everybody. Hey, Judy. Good morning. Good morning, Barbara. Good morning, Diana. Bonnie. Good to see you. Good to see you too. The people I already said hello to, Robin and Chesney and Pastor Leo Dempsey. Good to see you. Please come on in. While we're waiting to get started, let me go ahead and quickly read to you Psalm 15, the character of those who dwell with the Lord. Lord, who may abide in your tabernacle, who may dwell in your holy hill, he who walks uprightly and works righteousness and speaks the truth in his heart, he who does not backbite with his tongue, nor does evil to his neighbor, nor does he take up reproach against his friend, in whose eyes a vile person is despised. But he honors those who fear the Lord, he who swears to his own hurt and does not change, he who does not put out his money at usury, nor does he take a bribe against the innocent. He who does these things shall never be moved. Wow. Amen. Amen. So, how is everybody? Hey, Gary, good morning. I forgot to watch the video you brought up yesterday. I got busy. I'm putting you on my TV. Okay, Chesney, good. Good morning, Stephanie. Good to see you. Hey, Gay Norman, Riggs, it's good to see you. Glad that you're here. All right, so I'm going to start out with the good news today because I always like showing the good news, and it's hard to find. But I found some good news and I want to show you this. And then afterwards, I'll tell you a little bit about what this was. But let me bring it up for you and I'll play it. Here we go. All right, all right. So that right there was this weekend. It was on Saturday. Good morning, Brian and Ken. Good to see you. Hey, Sally. Good morning. And that was a baptism that took place in California, where over 1,200 people were baptized this past Saturday at Calvary Chapel. Chino Hills was the church that was involved doing the baptism, and it was in Corona del Mar. So, I mean, what a glorious day! All the angels were singing, I'm sure, on that one, and I love to see that. I could watch that 100 times. Woof! And especially when the woman at the end who has a baby is getting baptized, that just does your heart good. Good to see those things. So I wanted to show you that, let you share in the joy of that as well. All right, so let's get into the not so good news. We go from the really good to the really like, meh, whatever. All right. So this is some breaking news from this morning. Yeah, I know. Isn't it great? Brian C says, praise God, praise the Lord, Robin said. And Sally said, I could too, Susan. I know. Amen. I know. It's always great to see that. It just does the heart good. All right. So in Arizona's Maricopa County says they're going to replace all the voting machines after the audit. They're saying we don't want anything else to happen. Any concerns that the integrity and security of the Dominion voting machines and ballots might have been compromised. Now, they're not referring to compromised during the election. Good morning, Sissy. They're talking about compromise because of the auditors. They may have done something to the machines. Yeah, Pastor Hip said he was out there from 9 until 1. Yes, they had baptism starting at 9 in the morning, and they went to almost 1 o'clock. They did them in shifts because they had so many people. Good morning, Bruce. Good to see you. So it's always good to see that. Really good to see that. So again, Arizona is going to get rid of their voting machines and get new ones, but not because of the thing, not because, oh, it something may have happened during the election. Now, I just saw a video. I don't know when this was. I don't know how truthful this was. So I'm going to tell you, you can go find it yourself, find out if it's valid. But a guy said that the board of electors there in Arizona failed to turn over 40% of the machines for the audit. Don't know if that's true. Don't know when that video was made. Don't know if they did that in the beginning of the audit and then they handed them over. I don't know. But again, I'm just telling you that because that's what's going on out there, what's going around. You can make your own mind up whether or not it's true or not. Good morning. Going to hit 101 today. Northwest Montana, Wanda said. Woo! Robin said enough with machines, paper ballot only. And that's not going to happen, Robin. They're going to have mail-in ballots. I can see that already in California. I'm sure that's what it's going to be. We're not going to go back to the way it used to be. Hopefully other states will do that because California, which way it's going to go anyway. Typically, it's all Democrats. So it doesn't matter. But elsewhere, not hot in Texas, 80s, Barbara said. Okay, so we're learning a little bit more about the NFL and sort of, in their own words, the NFL wants you to know that football is gay. So as the, Pride Month wraps up, they have a new video proclaiming that football is gay. I don't know. I used to think that football was for everyone. And I guess at the end of this video, they say that it is. But if it's gay, then I guess that, if it's just for gay people, it's not for white people, black people, Hispanic, and Asian, then I suppose no need to watch it. But let's see what they, well,
this is the checkers game where grandson and granddad will bond.
All right. So I asked if football is for everyone. I'm not sure why we had to go through, the whole thing about football is this and this and this and this. Football's American, football's blah, blah, blah. Good morning, Paula. For me, the NFL is dead. So they left that part out. So anyway, the newest definition of gay is dumb, Wanda said. Well, if they are, heard 2% are, Barbara said. NFL is dead to me, Robin said, has been for years. Yeah, I haven't watched the NFL since Kaepernick took a knee. So good morning, Robin Gailey. Good to see you. So they can, I guess it can be gay and lesbian and anything else because it doesn't really matter. I'm not going to be seeing it. So it, doesn't matter to me. All right. Now let's go into kind of what's happening in California because there's always interesting things happening in California every single day of the week. This one is California bans state travel to Florida. 4 more over anti-LGBTQ plus laws. And basically what they're saying is that Arkansas, Florida, Montana, and West Virginia bars transgender females from participating in girls' school sports. Wow, how dare they? And then North Dakota made the list due to a law that permits certain publicly funded student organizations to prevent LGBT students from joining without losing funding. And also cited 2 other laws in Arkansas. One allows medical providers to deny care to LGBTQ people if they have a conscientious objection to doing so, while the other prohibits gender-confirming treatments or surgery for transgender use. So I don't know. There's a whole bunch of places now that if you're in California, they're not going to use the funds to go there. Yeah, Tennessee, they've got Tennessee is on the list. So there's about like 17 places, including Texas, that California is just not going to send people. Stephanie said, for me, the NFL died when they took a knee. Exactly, Stephanie. Yeah, exactly. Barbara said, nope, they are paid gladiators, so who cares? Yeah, I've, sports to me, like professional sports, have become like politicians. They take their money and they use it, and it's not always for good, and they don't always. Let's see, what is? Oops, connection issues. Oh, there's a connection issue. Maybe that's my Facebook people today having a connection issue. Hopefully they'll get that fixed. I just got a message saying one of the connections is having a connection issue. So maybe Facebook just turned it off. Yeah. So professional sports and politicians, they whenever you have a lot of money and you can push whatever agenda you want, probably not something that I typically want to see. Sally said, "Good, we don't need their liberal presence here." Yeah, and Robin said we don't watch any sports. Yeah, I used to love football. I love the strategy of football. I just don't like everything else that goes along with it. We are good here. We can see and hear you. Oh, that's good, Paula. So who knows? Maybe it's Clouthub they were talking about. I have no idea. I just got a message saying there was a connection issue, but okay. So now I don't know how many of you last night, if any, were able to see Tucker Carlson. But this was, I don't know, it's not really shocking. There's nothing really anymore that's shocking. You just kind of go, oh yeah, okay, well, that makes sense. I knew that, or I thought that. How is California going to stop people from visiting those states? California government sounds like dictators. Well, what they're going to do, Brian, is they're going to tell you if you work for the city, the city or state governments in California, you're the one that's not going to be able to use state funds to take a trip to those places. You can, as an individual, you can go anywhere you want. Well, you can for now. But if you work for the government, you cannot have a state paid trip there. Like if you have to go there for a conference, you're not gonna go, or something like that. I like it as well. I love Olympics at the house as well. Sally said, I'm in Alabama, so we love college sports here. Robin said, I wondered as well, Brian. Yeah, it's not for individual private citizens. It's for government workers. Hey, Kelly Walsh, how are you? Hey, Wayne, better late than never, I should say. Okay, so I'm going to play you just a little bit of Tucker Carlson from last night. And again, you have to look at it and say, who's going to stop this? That's my question. Who's going to stop it? I don't think anybody will, to be honest with you, because we are rewarding those for bad behavior today, and we are punishing those that have good behavior. So we're in the upside down world that we live in. So let me go ahead and play this for you, and you can listen to it for yourself.
Actual federal policy. The war on terror, now ongoing for 20 years, has pivoted in its aims. The war on terror is now being waged against American citizens, opponents of the regime. We saw this on display on January 6th. We told you a couple of weeks ago, based on language in publicly available indictments, that the FBI clearly had foreknowledge of the riot at the Capitol that day. And the agents we spoke to this weekend confirmed that is true. Quote, the FBI had sources in that crowd, confidential sources, snitches. That's 100% certain. But it's not just political protesters the government is spying on. Yesterday, we heard from a whistleblower within the U.S. government who reached out to warn us that the NSA, the National Security Agency, is monitoring our electronic communications and is planning to leak them in an attempt to take the show off the air. Now, that's a shocking claim, and ordinarily we'd be skeptical of it. It's illegal for the NSA to spy on American citizens. It's a crime. It's not a third world country. Things like that should not happen in America. But unfortunately, they do happen, and in this case, they did happen. The whistleblower, who is in a position to know, repeated back to us information about a story that we are working on that could have only come directly from my texts and emails. There's no other possible source for that information, period. The NSA captured that information without our knowledge and did it for political reasons. The Biden administration is spying on us. We have confirmed that. This morning we filed a FOIA request, a Freedom of Information Act request, asking for all information that the NSA and other agencies have gathered about this show. We did it mostly as a formality. We've also contacted the press office at both NSA and the FBI. We don't expect to hear much back. That's the way that usually goes. Only Congress can force transparency on the intelligence agencies, and they should do that immediately. Spying on opposition journalists is incompatible with democracy. If they are doing it to us, and again, they are definitely doing it to us, they are almost certainly doing it to others. This is scary, and we need to stop it right away.
So there you have it. He claims that the NSA is spying on them. And who is going to do anything about it? I still say they should go back and try to find out who took that information. Remember when he sent some information about the guy, I can't remember the guy's name now, who was a partner to Hunter Biden, and he had information in regards to Hunter Biden, and it was sent by UPS, and miraculously, it disappeared. Now, does UPS make mistakes and things get taken and blah, blah? Yes, they do. But with this information, what were they doing? Were they finding out on his text messages that information was going to be sent via UPS? And did they intercept it there? Gotta wonder. Right. They won't do anything about it. Robin said, yeah. It's kind of, that's the way it is these days. I mean, we really have no justice. All right. Now, speaking about UPS and Amazon and things like that, if you have a package that's coming, if I can start it, I'll probably may have to start it, let it go play in the beginning. But if you're expecting a package and it's late, it may be because it's not coming. God bless the guy that told Tucker. Yeah, absolutely. Putting his life on the line. And hopefully he didn't text Tucker to tell him that. All right. So again, if your package is late, you may wonder, maybe this is it. So what you are seeing there, I'm sure, is, hungry people who absolutely needed to go and raid that Amazon truck because they were starving. So it was out of necessity that they were doing that. What shameful behavior. During broad daylight, not that it would matter if it was at night or day, but during broad daylight, these people loot an Amazon truck. Why? Because they can. Who's going to do anything about it? No one. It's crazy. Ken said, I guess Edward Snowden doesn't look like he came out of a comic book anymore. Yeah, guess not. There's so many things happening now. And again, you in your own home may be monitored by the NSA. They need that stuff. We need to help them. I know. Poor people. We need to help them. They're starving, and they just knew for sure that there was going to be food in those boxes from Amazon. And that's why they went out there and raided the truck. I'm sure that's it. Unbelievable. Okay, so I talked about this very briefly. That looks like ants attacking a crumb of cake. Well, it kind of is, Sissy. It really is. When you have that many people that are willing to go along individually and in a group and do things that they know are unlawful, immoral, and just plain out wrong any way you look at it, I think ants wouldn't go attack the truck. Ants would just attack food. These people attack the truck because, there are things in there they might sell again, or they, like Nike shoes and things of that nature. Get the skin in the game, Bruce said. I got some new shoes from that van. Well, there you go, Wayne. I'm telling you. All right. So we started talking about this yesterday. Brian said these liberal cities have opened the door for crimes like this to take place. They no longer are prosecuting cases for this. Well, it's true. Brian, because in California, if you steal less than $900, you're not even going to be arrested. So, that's why you see these people walking in to Walgreens and other places and just taking everything, putting it in a bag and walking out because they figure, well, I got less than $900. Who's going to stop me? And pretty much I don't know if they even get a ticket of anything. It was a misdemeanor, not a felony. Used to be a felony, but not anymore. Let's see, evil good and good evil. There, that's right, Stephanie. Just all day long, every day. And it used to be we would, it'd be like every day things would change. It's now hour by hour that we're seeing. Susan, what's going on with the insurance companies in these cities? Well, they're having to pay out probably, and then after a while, they'll probably cancel any insurance for these people because when you send something. Well, like Amazon, if you Amazon Prime, who knows if that'll be something they're able to keep with people stealing things all the time, or they'll just increase their prices. Robin said nothing shocks me anymore. Each location, $900. Yeah, each location, $900, Lynn. So you can go to this Walgreens, spend, steal $400 worth, go over here to Walmart, steal another $600. That's still okay. Right? Because you're still under $900. It's $900 in a particular location. Are they paying out? Who knows, Sally? The sinful nature of man is really ugly. Yeah, it really is. But that's what happens when you don't have any responsibility or there's no accountability for what you are doing. That's why there are rules in the Bible. Shalt not steal. The rules in the Bible that prevent chaos from happening. And when you don't have principles, biblical principles, the law, which is, by the way, the law was founded upon biblical principles, right? When you don't have that, then you have chaos. And that's what we're seeing now. And as Judy said, the sinful nature of man is really ugly. Lipstick soon to be $1,000. There you go, Lynn. And Nike shoes, maybe we should put them at $901. So who knows? I mean, it's terrible to see. It really is terrible to see how far people can sink and still feel that it's okay. Like, well, I deserve this. I should have it for whatever reason. I don't know. Okay. So here's what we kind of talked about yesterday that we didn't, I couldn't find for you, but I wanted to bring it back today. 542% increase in convicted sex offenders arrested at the border. Border Patrol agents have arrested 353 illegal aliens with sex-related criminal convictions so far this fiscal year. A large number of detainees have prior convictions for crimes. In the same period in 2020, agents apprehended 55 and 58 total in all the fiscal 2019. Oh, let's see, who was president at that time? Oh, I guess it was President Trump. So now we have 542% increase. And what that means is, I don't care if they're coming across the Texas border, which I think those were, or coming across California or whatever, Arizona. This is going to impact the entire country. People seem to think that people come in at the border and they stay at that particular location. They don't. Hey, Jules, when you throw out the biblical principles, you have lawlessness. Absolutely, Stephanie. Absolutely. And that's what we are seeing. As in the days of Noah, man, everything is coming to fruition right here. We're seeing it all. So anyway, all of these sex offenders, I would say watch your children a little bit closer than you do normally. Also, all the crimes of the people that are being let go. I know from watching VOP when they're down at Arizona that they're taking people and they are giving them to Border Patrol. And of course, they're coming back. Just like magic. They come back across the border. Why? Because they know they can. Why? Because they know that there are no repercussions under Joe Obama. So they just keep, it's cycling over and over and over, the revolving door. So anyway, and also, I've seen videos this is common sense, but many of these people that are coming across the border, they're being put into buses, Border Patrol buses, And these people are testing positive for coronavirus. My gosh. So when they're doing that, what's that going to do? Well, of course, that's going to increase the number of cases that we see. So should an argument be made down the road a little bit, not too far from the distant future, I'm sure, that another lockdown is necessary, they're going to take those numbers and put them with everybody else's numbers to make these huge cases and have a more reason to say, oh, we need to close everything down. But if you hadn't brought the people into the country in the first place, like President Trump was doing, sending them back to Mexico, or deporting them, right away, or whatever, they weren't going out into the community like they surely are now, you wouldn't have had that problem. My lawnmower parts got put back on the van. Nobody wants things to work. Yeah, exactly, Wayne. They're the new variant. Yep, last week we had 8 kids of various ages come up missing in my little corner of the world. Well, Wanda, I'm sure they're going to be accounted for. Never. Are they in the foster care? Are they in the foster care realm of things, or are they just kids in the neighborhood? This country will not survive another lockdown. Well, Brian, that's kind of the intent, right? I mean, do you think that people really want the country to survive? We want the Great Reset, remember? They have lots of TB and whooping cough cases. Yes, but you'll never hear about those, Sally. And see, Sally, when you have TB, right? Let me just tell you, when you have TB, you're supposed to wear a mask because that's supposed to prevent others from being infected. But they won't tell you that. So anyway. All right. Now, their things are so bad at the border, not according to Joe Obama, but to everybody else that, has common sense and understand what's going on, that there are other states now that are going to be sending their officers to the border. South Dakota and Iowa are going to send law enforcement officers to the southern border. Of course, that's in Arizona or Texas. That's certainly not in California because we can't have those people in our state. We don't want you here. I don't know the specifics. You should find out, Wanda. Try to find out where it came from. Sally said, I refuse to lock down. They have lots. Yeah, see, but Sally, in Tennessee, you guys didn't really lock down. If you want to know what lockdown is, and I mean lockdown, go to California, go to New Mexico, go to those places, and you will find out what prison is in a lockdown, because you're not allowed to go anywhere and do anything. And then you have curfews and all this other stuff. Churches now will be allowed to be open, but not during that time that they weren't, while churches in other states were open and running. So some of the states, like I said, the Democrat-run states, when they say lockdown, they mean lockdown. It is, you don't do anything. Now, we have the World Health Organization. They're going to put their 2 cents worth into what you should do, because, we're told every other day, go to Michigan. Exactly, Pepper, North Carolina. Exactly. All right. So here's what the World Health Organization says. They still want you to wear a mask, even if the CDC doesn't want you to. So there you go. A month and a half ago, the CDC announced the fully badged people no longer needed to wear a mask outdoors or in most indoor situations to protect them from the virus. The news was received with relief, but it raised concerns. And after all, there yet to be conclusive evidence that badged people cannot spread the virus, and the U.S. population, though ahead of most of the world in percentage of immunization, is still shy of herd immunity, of course, because the number for herd immunity, not natural herd immunity, because that somehow is non-existent now, but for herd immunity, which doesn't exist when you actually kill things, right? But anyway, so as it turns out, the WHO confirmed on June 25th that badged people should continue to wear the veil, especially as a protection against the highly contagious Delta variant. So the Delta variant, it's a new variant that we're hearing more and more out of it. And their 2 cents isn't worth a penny, Ruth said. And we're at halftime. If you would please share with everybody and retweet this. Thank you, Ken, for letting me know. So, you know, you're going to hear more about the Delta variant because that's going to be the next big excuse. These people can't make up their minds. They keep telling us to trust the science, but they're not trusting the science. Okay, good point, Brian. Now, for those of you who weren't here yesterday, and for those of you who were, I told you yesterday, and I put the links for you in the YouTube. There is either a video or you can read the transcript instead of watching the video of something that talks about what Brian just brought up. Why they can't. How do you share a YouTube video? Just go and take the link at the top, across the top in the address bar, the website address bar, whatever, from where you are, and you should be able to do it. So you should find out why, Brian, what is the strategy behind changing everything all the time? What does that do? And there's a reason for it. So I said yesterday, if there was nothing else that you watched yesterday, to please watch that video or to please read that transcript. It lays out a lot of information very clearly. I told you who Brian Garish is and what he was talking about. And you can go back and find that from yesterday. It's really important that you watch that so that you won't have to ask, why are they doing that? You will know, and this will increase your discernment about what is happening. Bruce, we can see they are setting up for another shutdown with the variant, Robin said. Let's see. They are working it slowly. Yeah. So please, please, please go back there and watch that video or read the transcript from yesterday. It will give you a lot of information and it will show you the game that is being played on you. Okay. Now, more information. In LA County, they're recommending indoor veils regardless of the badges that you may have received. So now this is totally opposite of anything that's been said, really, but back and forth. So health officials in LA now strongly recommend that people wear their veils indoors in public places regardless of their badge status. But I thought once you got your badge, you were good to go. And Jules said this is all about the 22 election. Not quite, Jules. That's part of it, but not quite. Our governor still has emergency powers. He refuses to give them up, Judy said. So does ours in California. Why are they refusing to give them up? Because they want them ready to go for the next time that they enact them, right? Next time that there's a reason, which they know there's going to be, they will have the emergency powers. They don't have to wait for Congress. They can act right now. That's exactly what they're doing. So LA County, and I was talking to someone yesterday who watches the show, and they were telling me that they went to the grocery store. This is in San Diego. They went to a grocery store, and most of the employees now are not wearing the veil. But when she went to check out, the woman at the checkout was wearing the veil. And she said to her, why are you still wearing the veil when most people, in here aren't wearing the veil? And she said, I've gotten used to it now and it feels good to wear it. And it makes, kind of like makes me feel good. And she's gotten used to it. Who gets used to a diaper on their face, right? Who gets used to doing that? That's somebody who has lived in fear, somebody who has been brainwashed to and have been told that if you just wear this, you will be safe. And now it's comfortable. And a lot of millennials have started doing the same thing. They just wear them because, well, they make other people feel better. They make me feel better because I feel better about myself, because I can't be harmed. I mean, I guess we're going to find out someday that if a car hits you and you're wearing a mask, you're going to be okay, no matter what, no matter how fast, no matter what, if it throws you in the air, if you're wearing that mask, you're going to be okay. Now, of course, I'm being sarcastic, but isn't it true that we're being told all you have to do to stay safe is wear that veil? Wear that veil. And it's going to be where people, I mean, I see people still wearing it because they've been so brainwashed that they don't know how to be without it now. Australia just locked down a lot of people there. They think they did this because the election is right around the corner, Brian said. Tell me more, or do I want to hear? Sometimes I wish I was uninformed. Jules, go to yesterday's video, yesterday's YouTube of mine. You will see I'm talking about Brian Garish and telling you about an article or video that you need to look at. Go there. You must see it for yourself and for your children's sake. Could all this BS be about distracting us from something else? Yes, Sissy. Most of it, a lot of it is. And a lot of it is from, it's the agenda that's going along towards the Great Reset. So I think a lot of it has to do with that, but there's so much involved in it. And that's why what's on the video I talked about yesterday or the transcript will give you a ton of information. Now, here is somebody it's already getting started. Somebody in Orange County, California, that basically says no card, no entry. So unless you show your badge, you're not getting in. And as far as I can see, they don't even give you an option of wearing a veil. So they're just saying it's just or that. That's it. One or the other. And so, she's saying, well, my people don't feel safe. If somebody gets somebody sick down in the community, it's going to come right back at me. The same thing if you get the flu, a cold, chicken pox. I guess they came back at her too. So she's not even going to go there. So hopefully she'll just continue to be responsible for everyone. She got really negative feedback in what she did. I will never walk into that store. Not that I would ever, but I will never walk into that store. And I hope that other people won't go in there either. Barbara said that's illegal by HIPAA. That's kind of the issue about HIPAA, because you have to see what it really pertains to. Sissy said I would just boycott that place, period. Oh, Sissy, I would encourage everyone not to go, and I'm not going myself. That to me, when you tell somebody that one group of people can go, but another group of people can't go, that's, in my book, in my opinion, that's discrimination. I don't care what excuse you come up with, it's still discrimination. You can't sit there and say that one people can do it and one set can't do it. Our rights are gone, Stephanie said. And see, from what I read there's not even an option that you can call curbside and they'll come out and give it to you. So I guess on their way home, they don't walk by any people or they are in a bubble. Maybe they dress in a bubble, because when they leave that place, they're going to be around other people. We went shopping yesterday. Not one store had any sign about the badge or the virus, Robin said. I don't think the government no longer cares about HIPAA laws. No, Brian, they don't. I couldn't get in anyway. I have no badge. Well, again, she's not saying you could wear your badge and go in. She's not saying that, at least the article isn't saying, that they will accommodate you in any way. Oh, no, let's yell racist. Well, yell, Barbara, I guess you could, right? Because she's discriminating against people. Disconnect from the managed culture, barter, home grow, etc. Yep, James, that's, we've talked about that in here before. It's what I'm encouraging a lot of people to do, to network with people and find out who is going to help you during a time when you are not badged up and who won't. Okay, now, I'm going to give you a link. I'm going to show you. This is from Rumble. Unvaccinated employees at my husband's nursing home come and go. We took him out for Father's Day, and now he's on week 2 of isolation. Well, that's because he's elderly, right? I guess in their opinion, he's elderly, and he's in a nursing home. So, I guess they can go. They have privileges, but he doesn't. Sounds like. Okay, so now I can't talk to you about this, but let me show you, and then I'm going to give you the link. This says something about leaked documents and the UK and a permanent something or other coming. Now, I have no idea if this is true or not, but I'm going to give it to you to go and make up your mind yourself, do your own research on this, and determine whether or not this is true. So there you have the link from Rumble. Yeah, we'll have armbands next, Bruce said. Yeah, you kind of do now, just that the armbands are on your face rather than your arm, I guess, in some respects. That is just sad and wrong, Stephanie Sissy said. Absolutely. It is absolutely wrong. And again, people think that, oh, well, you're isolating, you're doing this and that and the other, but you may do that at work, but who are you with when you go home? Who are you with on the weekend? Now, you could sit and worry about who everybody is with, or you could start using some common sense and stop living in fear. But I think a lot of people are happy to go ahead and live in fear because they've been told, well, if you just do this, there's nothing to fear. And so that way it calms their fears and they can go, oh, phew, great. I'm so glad I don't have to fear anymore. Most are wearing an invisible mask on their eyes. Yeah, Sally. All right. So now here's some other information. Ilhan Omar has actually found, how do I want to say this? She's found a new admirer. Maybe that's it. She has a new admirer. And who is that? Well, that would be the one and only David Duke. And he praises her as, I mean, my gosh, he just loves her. He was the former Ku Klux Klan Grand Wizard. He spoke out strongly in favor of her, who has accused Jewish lawmakers of dual loyalty, attributed support for Israel to foreign money, and said Israel has hypnotized the world. And I guess, Ilhan, it's good to know that David Duke, former Grand Wizard of the KKK, agrees with you. So you got a friend there. So if you never need one, you'll know where to go. All right. Now, we were told yesterday, and we talked about it in here, that the United States went to Syria and they struck the drones, basically, the unmanned aerial vehicles or the drones. And that's a place in Syria where Iran supposedly was making these drones. Well, and they didn't really destroy anything else. I know, Sissy, David Duke. Ilhan, you got a friend in David Duke. I've gotten vitamins from them. From who, Chizzy? Oh, the UAVs. I don't know. Anyway, what you're talking about there. But so we didn't destroy all of the Iran militia that's in Syria. So now, because we didn't do that, because we were, just being friendly and all that, the U.S. forces have come under fire in Syria following airstrikes against Iran-backed militia. So now, we've got Joe Obama saying, ooh, hoo, we're going to get you. If you do anything, we're going to get you. We're just warning you. So take heed. And I'm sure they are trembling in their boots. I mean, who wouldn't be when Joe speaks? So anyway, yes, UAV equals drones. Yes. Begs the question, why is Joe Biden eliminated sanctions on Iran? Well, here's what I think, Lynn. I think this is just another distraction because we all know where this is going to go. We're in Syria as we were under Obama. So we've got Joe Obama back in Syria doing the same things, a little tit for tat back and forth with Iran. And then we're going to go and sign that nuclear agreement with them because that's where we're headed. That's what we want to do, right? But in the meantime, you and I can be distracted. Oh, what's going to happen in Syria? Oh, what's happening over there? So that's another little distraction. So we won't see what's happening here. We won't see what they're doing with the badges. We won't see what they're doing with anything else. We'll just be distracted again. We'll look here, 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 and here, and we won't see the Great Reset coming. We won't see anything coming. I can promise you Iranian tea isn't as good as the administration is acting, Lynn said. We now face the butcher of Iran. Yeah. Just another day, right, Stephanie? Just another day of all the things that we have seen lately that happen in our world on an hourly basis. And it's crazy. And follow the money trail, Barbara said. Yeah. 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 The Iranian government isn't the same. No, it isn't the same. It certainly isn't. But we have the same strategies, let's say, from the American ruler. Okay, so we're in Bible time. We are in Genesis. We left off at Genesis 28, and we'll pick it up there. James said we need to exit the Middle East. Trillions wasted, over 1 million dead, PTSD for our soldiers, and not much else to show for it. Not going to happen, James. Not going to happen. We got right back in there as soon as we could. Money, money, money by the pound, Sissy said. I thought the Democratic Party was against getting involved in other countries, but I guess it's okay when a Democrat administration is doing it. That's right, Brian. When they're doing it, anything is and everything is okay. Okay. Jacob sent to his uncle Laban when or Laban, however you say it. Then Isaac called Jacob and blessed him and charged him and said to him, "You shall not take a wife from the daughters of Canaan. Arise, go to Padan Aram, to the house of Bethuel, your mother's father, and take yourself a wife from there of the daughters of Laban, your mother's brother. May God Almighty bless you and make you fruitful and multiply you, that you may be an assembly of peoples, and give you the blessing of Abraham to you and your descendants with you, that you may inherit the land in which you are a stranger, which God gave to Abraham." So Isaac sent Jacob away, and he went to Padan Aram to Laban, the son of Bethuel, the Syrian, the brother of Rebekah, the mother of Jacob, and Esau. Esau marries Mahalath. Esau saw that Isaac had blessed Jacob and sent him away to Padan Aram to take himself a wife from there, and that as he blessed him, he gave him a charge saying, "You shall not take a wife from the daughters of Canaan," and that Jacob had obeyed his father and his mother and had gone to Padan Aram. Also, Esau saw that the daughters of Canaan did not please his father Isaac. So Esau went to Ishmael and took Mahalath, the daughter of Ishmael, Abraham's son, the sister of Nebajoth, to be his wife in addition to the wives he had. Now Jacob went out from Beersheba and went toward Haran. So he came to a certain place and stayed there all night because the sun had set. And he took one of the stones of that place and put it at his head, and he lay down in the place to sleep. Then he dreamed, and behold, a ladder was set up on the earth, and its top reached to heaven, and there the angels of God were ascending and descending on it. And behold, the Lord stood above it and said, "I am the Lord God of Abraham your father, and the God of Isaac. The land on which you lie I will give to you and your descendants. Also your descendants shall be as the dust of the east. You shall spread abroad to the west and the east, to the north and the south, and in you and in your seed all the families of the earth shall be blessed. Behold, I am with you and will keep you wherever you go, and will bring you back to this land, for I will not leave you until I have done what I have spoken to you." Then Jacob awoke from his sleep and said, "Surely the Lord is in this place, and I did not know it." And he was afraid and said, "How awesome is this place! This is none other than the house of God, and this is the gate of heaven." Then Jacob rose early in the morning and took the stone and he had put at his head and set it up as a pillar and poured oil on top of it. And he called the name of that place Bethel, but the name of that city had been Luz previously. Then Jacob made a vow, saying, "If God will be with me and keep me in his way, that I am going, and give me bread to eat and clothing to put on, so that I come back to my father's house in peace, then the Lord shall be my God. And this stone which I have set as a pillar shall be God's house, and of all that you give me, I will surely give a tenth to you." So Jacob went on his journey and came to the land of the people of the east, and he looked and saw a well in the field, and behold, there were 3 flocks of sheep lying by it. For out of that well they watered the flocks. A large stone was on the well's mouth. Now all the flocks would be gathered there, and they would roll the stone away from the well's mouth and water the sheep, put the stone back in its place on the well's mouth. And Jacob said to them, "My brethren, where are you from?" And they said, "We are from Haran." Then he said to them, "Do you know Laban the son of Lahor?" And they said, "We know him." So he said to them, "Is he well?" And they said, "He is well. And look, his daughter Rachel is coming with the sheep." Then he said, "Look, it is still high day. It is not time for the cattle to be gathered together. Water the sheep and go and feed them." But they said, "We cannot until all the flocks are gathered together, and they have rolled a stone from the well's mouth. Then we water the sheep." Now, while he was still speaking with them, Rachel came with her father's sheep, for she was a shepherdess. And it came to pass, when Jacob saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban, his mother's brother, and the sheep of Laban, his mother's brother, that Jacob went near and rolled a stone from the well's mouth and watered the flock of Laban, his mother's brother. Then Jacob kissed Rachel and lifted up his voice and wept. And Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's relative and that he was Rebekah's son. So she ran and told her father. Then it came to pass, when Laban heard the report about Jacob, his sister's son, that he ran to meet him and embraced him and kissed him and brought him to his house. So he told Laban all these things, and Laban said to him, "Surely you are my bone and my flesh." And he stayed with him for a month. Then Laban said to Jacob, "Because you are my relative, should you therefore serve me for nothing? Tell me, what should your wages be?" Now Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. Leah's eyes were delicate, but Rachel was beautiful of form and appearance. Now Jacob loved Rachel, so he said, "I will serve you 7 years for Rachel, your younger daughter." And Laban said, "It is better that I give her to you than I should give her to another man. Stay with me." So Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed only a few days to him because of the love he had for her. Then Jacob said to Laban, "Give me my wife, for my days are fulfilled that I may go into her." And Laban gathered together all the men of the place and made a feast. Now it came to pass in the evening that he took Leah his daughter and brought her to Jacob, and he went in to her. And Laban gave his maid Zilpah to his daughter Leah as a maid. So it came to pass in the morning, when that, behold, it was Leah. And he said to Laban, What is this you have done to me? Was it not for Rachel that I served you? Why then have you deceived me? And Laban said, "It must not be done so in our country, to give the younger before the firstborn. Fulfill her week, and we will give you this one also for the service which you will serve with me still another 7 years." Then Jacob did so and fulfilled her week. So he gave him his daughter Rachel as wife also. And Laban gave his bride Bilhah to his daughter Rachel as a maid. Then Jacob also went into Rachel, and he also loved Rachel more than Leah. And he served with Laban till another 7 years. When the Lord saw that Leah was unloved, he opened her womb, but Rachel was barren. So Leah conceived and bore a son, and she called his name Reuben, for she said, "The Lord has surely looked on my affliction. Now therefore my husband will love me." Then she conceived again and bore a son, and said, "Because the Lord has heard that I am unloved, he has therefore given me this son also." And she called his name Simeon. She conceived again and bore a son, and said, "Now this time my husband will become attracted to me, or attached to me, because I have borne him 3 sons. Therefore his name was called Levi." And she conceived again and bore a son, and said, "Now I will praise the Lord." Therefore she called his name Judah. Then she stopped bearing. Wow, the woman was busy. All right, so I think we will stop there. And as you know, I am not here on Wednesdays. You're on Genesis 1:1, been there about a week and a half. Not kidding. That's pretty cool. Hey, Gary. So we will pick up here on Thursday. And if you would, again, please share. And so people can hear what we have. Please go back and look at yesterday's video, that you can watch the video I talked about. It's not in German. It has a German title. When they start talking to the guest, it's not in German. And you can also read instead. Thank you, Susan. See you all back Thursday. I'm willing. God bless everyone. Robin said, God bless you all, and thank you. All right, everybody, I'm going to give you about a minute to talk to each other on the way out. Again, God bless you, and thank you so much for sharing, and we will see you back here, God willing, on Thursday. Take care.